Welcome guys to a channel update vlog where it's been so long since our last one for various reasons that I'm about to explain to you, as that's the whole point of a channel update. One of the reasons, of course, is just because we've been in lockdown and I haven't had a haircut for 4 months and I look like a crazy absolute... Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. So I've been trying to avoid close camera time is how I put it, while using this headset to kind of hopefully cover it up a little bit. That's how we're going with at the moment. So that's one reason. That's they do open up in 2 days in the UK, so I am going to get a haircut as soon as I possibly can. So that's one. While I'm in the small screen in the corner, fine. While I'm in the big screen, yeah. A little bit of vanity, just knowing how crazy I absolutely look. You might notice that a few things have changed around the channel, including the audio setup here, and hopefully it sounds nice. Hopefully it sounds better than it ever has before, because we are using an XLR mic now. One of the reasons we're only down to one series, with Trails of Cold Steel 4 having ended after 152 episodes, the entire PlayStation exclusivity period, as now it's out on the Switch and PC. That was a long Let's Play of Falcom as well. There's been, you know, a lot of delays on games, a lot of the release schedules of games is getting less and less and less. So having to decide a new series, we've just been down to the one series, Bravely Default, which if you've been seeing a lot of adverts on it, that's because all the videos are monetized not by me, but by Revo, the composer of Bravely Default. Everything's been claimed on his behalf by a company called Pony Canyon. So I cannot have the usual 2 adverts in the mid-rolls that I would have for an hour-long video, which I think is less than probably most would put for a 1 hour video. But, you know, I only put 2 because I just don't want to be massively intrusive, even though I should put more for obvious reasons. I just don't. But if there has been a loads in there, it's because of that. So we've just been going with Bravely Default, and a new Let's Play hasn't started because other things have been going on. The things that have been going on is we've been in a massive transition between what we're recording on, etc. Everything has more or less changed in the setup in the last few weeks. And it was always going to, and things may change more in the future as well. So not just this new mic and this new Go XLR. Why are they there? Why have I got all this fancy kit? Well, Becca bought me a brand new PC as a present. I didn't ask for it. She just randomly was like, I'm going to build you a PC. Here we go. I'm going to make you like your work easier. I'm going to cut like the render times by a ton. So she made me a new PC. The 2 important components, I guess, to know about the PC are that it's an AMD Ryzen 5900X CPU, the processor, and the GPU, the graphics, is the NVIDIA 3070 RTX, got at retail prices, not the massively scalped prices that are going on currently due to the whole Bitcoin mining craze that's never ending at this point in time, where everything costs an absolute bomb and everything goes in no time at all in terms of graphics cards. So she bought me basically a PC with a massive amount of brunt that now renders a 720p 60 videos, because that's what I put out, of course, because my internet. It now renders that in 6 minutes, an hour-long video, whereas before it was about 30 to 35 minutes that those videos would take to render out. And this is a small quality bump as well with the bitrate is what we've been putting out recently on top of that. So I am looking to soon also, I would say, make the jump to 1080p 60 finally, or maybe above that. We have things in the works, but we'll talk about them at a later date. Let's put it that way. But I am looking to finally make that bump from 720p to 1080p. Finally. But because this new PC, which is great and it works really well, is trying to work it into the setup that was a bit of a problem. Because when Becca got that, we also got a 4K 60 Pro, which is the upgraded Elgato capture card. We had an HD 60 Pro as it was before, which I had special studio drivers from, which stopped a problem, which was present with the 4K 60 Pro. I've never had an Elgato card work out of the box. I've never had it work without this issue. And that issue is audio delay. When I stream or when I record for several hours, the audio gets out of sync and gets further and further behind what you see visually, which is what all of this is for in the end. Because I tried to go through their support, I couldn't get hold of any older drivers because they don't allow you to. They don't allow you to like choose from a list. They didn't have any special studio drivers, which is what I got with my HD60 Pro, that allowed it to actually work in sync. Though it did seem to have some like audio kind of skip every so often. I didn't even know if people actually noticed that is a thing. So the only way around that was to take the audio away from the Elgato capture card, just have it running visuals, and through this Go XLR over there. So I bought
I thought it said judicious.
this big fancy Go XLR, which is running currently over there, which takes the audio straight from the Switch and the PS5 over there via an HDMI switch that has an audio out on it, an optical out, which the PS5 doesn't come with, the PS4 did, and the Switch, of course, doesn't come with. The optical goes into the Go XLR, takes all the console, well, sounds, plays it through the PC, separate from the Elgato, and there I get my sound completely synced and probably a little bit more on point, I'd say, definitely more on point than it ever was before as well. So the audio will sync up with the gameplay way, way, way better now, is how I'd look at it. And because I got that as well, because it didn't really work so well with the old microphone, I did buy a Rode Procaster to go with it, which is an XLR mic, which should be a lot better quality, though I'm still trying to work out the EQ settings. Tell me how you feel this sounds at this point in time. So that goes into there as well. So everything's all mic'd up and differently now. Everything's all different. And the first stream that I will be using this entire setup is going to take place today in a couple of hours' time. So again, or just 1 hour's time probably from the point this video goes out, because it's 4 o'clock UK for the stream. And I think I'm going to have this video out by 3 PM. So that is what's been going on. Essentially, problems were caused by new build, etc. Even though it was like problems were caused with the Elgato 4K60 Pro. So I had to get other things to try and sort it out. I did try for a week to not go the money route of trying to sort the problem, but once it was obvious they wouldn't be sorted, I went that route to try and get things working and try and get things going. So at the moment, the stuff we have here for production is way better than it was before, which is again why I want to bump up the quality to 1080p 60 as soon as possible, if not higher than that, but more on that in a future channel update. So that's all that's been going on. During all that time, I've been testing the video by playing Monster Hunter live on stream, which is where we've been trying to work out the audio delay and mics, etc. So if you want to see any Monster Hunter footage, which I've probably had playing while this has all been talked about, you can come onto the stream and the VODs are all there of me and 3 others, including Becca, running through the multiplayer, which was quite a lot of fun, and the single player when I'm on my own, which I'm trying to progress. So we are quite high now in it-ish, but we're not near the top end of it. We still got more to go. So if you want to join me on the streams, that is stream-only content because of all the testing that it's been part of. So there we go. That's the big channel update about what's gone on. And yes, it's taken a hell of a lot of time to tell you what is going on. So big new PCs, all new setups, all new equipment. Hopefully it sounds really good. So what you really want to know is what's the next Let's Play, considering we're down to 1 Let's Play. So I've been thinking about this, and there aren't that many games coming out, because again, quarantine times, the time where the thing is going around the world, delaying everything, means that there's not really massive amounts of new releases on the horizon in the future. So I'm going to continue exploring the JRPG landscape. So from Trails and Falcon, which we're pretty much up to date with now on like Western releases, and if you think about it, we need to go elsewhere. So I was thinking about going to Atelier Ryza, the latest series of the Atelier games, which has like 22 games in its archive at this point in time, because that seems like a fun, charming little, very colourful jaunt after the massive story that was Trails of Cold Steel, where we're on the relaxing period again. It's all about palate cleansing every so often. Once we've had that long, massive story, we want a bit more fun and charm, which is also part of the reason for Bravely Default. So Atelier Ryza, the Ever Darkness, and the something else. Oh my goodness. Just Atelier Ryza 1. I get that. I can understand that. Long titles of a game, it's like, I can't quite get that. Is where I'm looking to go next. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to start this Sunday or the Sunday afterwards. I'm just umming and ahhing on that a little bit, mainly because of the fact that I need to kind of poll with you guys how you want me to do this, in a sense. Now, what I mean by this is that it has Japanese VA all the way through it. So the question with it is, do you want me, as like Digimon, to talk over the Japanese VA so that those of you who aren't necessarily attentively watching the game can also understand what's going on? So I voice act over the Japanese voice acting, though I would turn the Japanese voice acting down this time. Or do you want me to just leave it and just talk and just let the Japanese voice acting go and not talk during those scenes? That's the big question. That's what I'm wondering. So I need your thoughts on this. I want to know what you guys would prefer. I think there are people out there that would prefer both. Digimon-wise, people preferred me to actually speak over the Japanese vocals. And while I don't necessarily like doing that because it feels kind of, I completely understand why, if you know what I mean as well. Because there are a lot of people who watch YouTube videos during work and during other tasks. So having everything spoken out to them in a way they can understand it without having to watch the screen is kind of important too. And if I turn down the vocals, maybe it'd be less obtrusive. I don't know. Here's a quick example for you. On an ordinary island called Kirken, in an ordinary village called Rasenboden, I live my ordinary life, just hoping that someday something interesting would happen. So Atelier Ryza is one of the series I'm looking to go into. And then, of course, following that on straight away with probably Atelier Ryza 2. So we've got that and 2 games in a row with a story that is separate but with same characters-ish, as I understand it. It sounds like a new JRPG to enjoy and delve into. Apart from that, with Bravely Default going on for a little while, I've been thinking about what would come after that. And there is a game released on the Nintendo Switch and the PS4 in the future that is a sequel to something. So I'm just wondering if I should play, of course, the original first or the original remade. Because I've been wondering if I should play The World Ends With You Final Remix. So that when it comes out, we can play Neo, The World Ends With You. Probably using this for a little extra brunt graphically and the frame rates that go with it. And hopefully by then we'll be in the new era in a weird way of doing things. So that's the actual Let's Play plan. So I've explained to you what's been going on with the channel, things that has just been happening. We've been playing Monster Hunter on stream, and you can come join me for that. You can come join me on the stream in an hour and ask me any questions for a bit before we start Bravely Default, if you want to come along for that. And that's all really. That's possible plans. World Ends With You, Neo World Ends With You, Atelier Ryza 2. Bravely Default 2 running to its conclusion as well. Tell me what you think. We have lots of new stuff in the setup. Hopefully this sounds nice. Tell me what you think of the mic sound. And on top of that, just stay tuned because we've got kind of like another announcement to come in the future that may switch things up a little bit more. 1080p videos. I think this is definitely where I want to aim for now because everyone's been doing it for ages. And I've been holding off on the basis that I just want really good quality 720p. But I should probably step up. Move with the times, right? So thank you for watching this channel update. Join me on the streams that will come Saturday and Sunday. Will I start Atelier Ryza tomorrow? We'll find out. Please tell me what you think about the whole voice acting thing. And I'll see you guys for another channel update in the future. Have a great night. Or a great rest of your day, wherever you are across the world. This is Olizandri, signing out. Bye-bye.